Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to do another common accounting questions for you guys. This is part 4, so if you haven't checked out the last 3, make sure to go check that out. Sorry for the lighting, guys. I feel like I'm always doing these in the car, and it's just because these are easy to do whenever I have time. So I'm doing it before class. I got here about 30 minutes early, so I'm just gonna jump into it. I'm not even going to try and say the names this time because I definitely messed up the names a lot last time, but I will again put the comments in. So the first comment or question is, she says, "Thank you, Sarah, for making these videos. If you still want to do part 4, I got some more questions. 1, how to deal with office politics like cliques or gossip? Do you see that happening a lot at your current job? Second question, are you allowed to work from home? Third question, I'm sorry if this one is too personal. How did you manage to have children and study full-time or work a 9-to-5 job? Did you need a lot of help from your family? I think you mentioned in one of your previous videos that you start work earlier and you get out of the office around 3 p.m. Did you have to negotiate with your supervisor to be able to work these hours? If so, how do you approach that conversation? Hope you answer my questions, and I just want to say thank you again. You are awesome." Thank you so much. I seriously love when you guys ask questions, and I love that I get to interact with you guys. So the first question, politics, cliques, gossip, does that happen at my job? Not really. Everyone is really friendly with each other. I did have a situation at my job a few months ago where there was someone in my department who was just being rude, making rude comments, and since then he has been let go. So I have had to deal with, things like that, and my best advice for you would be to try and ignore it, and if it's making you feel uncomfortable, tell somebody, because you shouldn't feel uncomfortable when you're working. So I have dealt with that. The main thing I would say is, again, ignore it, or if it's making you uncomfortable, talk to your supervisor, talk to HR. I don't deal with a lot of office politics, specifically me, but I have seen in other jobs situations where someone doesn't like someone, so they don't get a job, stuff like that. Luckily, I've never been on the, kind of bad side of that. I've just kind of witnessed it. So I don't know if I really have any advice for that. I think the main thing is try not to let it bother you, and if you think you are getting in the middle of politics and stuff, either try and stay out of it, or just speak with the people that are involved with it if it's something that like you can change or whatever. Hopefully that makes sense. The second question, are you allowed to work from home? Yes, I work from home Tuesdays, and for the most part, I actually do work from home on Tuesdays. There are a few days like today. Today is Tuesday, where it was just so busy at work that I went in. But I would say for the most part, I would probably 90% of the time I actually work from home. So we get to work from home 1 day a week, which is really nice. 3 is your question about having children and working full-time and going to school. Do I need a lot of help from your family? So I'm not sure how much you guys have seen other videos on my channel, but I think the main reason I'm able to handle everything, so going to school, working full-time, having a toddler who's almost 2, I'm able to do all of that because, 1, I have an amazing family, but also my husband stays at home. So he's a stay-at-home dad. He does work 1 day a week and 1 night a week. So when he does do that, it's a little bit more complicated, but because I have him and his support when it comes to, like, when I go to school, he watches her, and when I need to do homework, he, goes and does something with her. So I would say the main reason why I'm able to do so much is probably because of Jason. He is amazing with everything. He's always, telling me, "Oh, just work on homework. I'll take her and go do something." So that is a huge huge thing. I do work from like 7 to 3:15. That's my normal schedule. That's just the way that my company works. You have like a 7.5-hour day, and you can kind of choose your start and end times. That's just kind of how it was when I started. I didn't have to really negotiate anything. Although sometimes with school and with Jason working, I do have to leave a little bit earlier, and my supervisor is actually the one who mentioned it to me. She was the one who said, oh, you know, go ahead, you can make it up, you know, later at night or whatever. So, yeah, I feel like I got really lucky with that one. So if I didn't answer your questions about anything, you know, if you need more explanation on those 3 questions, let me know. The next question is, hi Sarah, thank you for the accounting questions videos. I'm currently taking accounting classes online at my local community college, and I hope to start a career in the accounting industry. I'm debating on applying to graduate school for a master's in accounting or sitting for my CPA. In your opinion, which would you think would be better route for someone who is trying to start a career in accounting and only experience they have is taking accounting classes? Also, how much of the accounting that you learn in school is what you actually do in your job? Thank you. Okay, so in my state, so I guess it really depends on where you live. In Illinois, you need 150 credit hours to sit for the CPA. So the reason why one of the reasons why I'm doing my MBA right now is because I need it to sit for the CPA. I don't necessarily need my master's, but I need the credits, and so I just kind of got my master's and got the credits, and that's kind of my plan. So if you live in a state where you just need the regular bachelor's degree, I would say go sit for the CPA and do that, just from my opinion, because honestly, I think going to school for more accounting is probably not necessary. I would say experience would be a better option. And again, this is my opinion, so hopefully you guys don't take it the wrong way or anything, but I've just noticed that what you learn, and this kind of answers your other questions, what you learn in school is not necessarily representative of what you're going to be doing in your career. And so if you can sit for the CPA right away and start working, I would say that's the best bet. And then maybe you decide you don't want to go and get your master's in accounting. Maybe you want to get an MBA or some other type of degree. So I would definitely look into that. Make sure that your state allows you to sit without those extra credit hours for sure. Another question is, how much is good money? And this is off of a different video that I did about the pros and cons of accounting. So I want to do a whole separate video on like salaries for accounting. If you're interested in that, please let me know down below, because I'm thinking about doing that. It might be on my list pretty soon to do. From what I have seen, starting out, accountants can range quite a bit. I've had friends who got job offers for $45,000 a year, and then I've known people who have been over $60,000 a year, just starting out, right out of college. So I would say that that's pretty decent compared to a lot of other jobs, if you're a teacher or some other different types of jobs. And the other thing is, it really depends on what industry you're in. Those are like public accounting firms around this area. But if you look at bigger companies and in different states, you could be making six figures out of school. So let me know if you want a more in-depth video on that, because I would love to do that for you guys, and just kind of go into like raises and stuff like that. Another question is, in another one of your question and answer videos, you said you didn't have to do much writing while you were in college. I was wondering if you ever had to do presentations or speeches in front of the class. If so, how often did you do them? As an accounting student and as a business student, in my bachelor's degree, I did very little writing. I would say, maybe one paper a semester, if that. It was very little. For presentations, again, very little. The majority of my curriculum and like our assignments and stuff were like homework assignments, and tests. And I loved that format. I am a really good test taker, and so I loved that. As an MBA student, all of your work is either projects, which you present in front of the entire class and usually other professors, and also a lot of papers. I'm actually working on an ethics paper right now, and I want to pull out my hair. It's horrible. So I would say in your bachelor's degree for accounting, you're probably not going to deal with a lot of presentations, although I would have to say every school is kind of different, so it just really depends. But at ISU, Illinois State University, where I went, there was very little of that. The same person asked, "Hi Sarah, I just wanted to thank you for this video." You're welcome. I've been really debating on what to major in, and accounting has always been on my top 3. Do you feel that you get enough family time? Like, would you say it's pretty balanced? Do you feel that majoring in accounting was worth it? I definitely think that majoring in accounting was worth it. Like I've said in previous videos, I have never worried about finding a job. I've always had so many offers for jobs and internships. I've never felt like, what am I going to do with this degree? And I would say I actually really enjoy the work. The pay is great. I think it really just depends on the company, and I love my company, so that's another huge benefit. In regards to, do I think I have enough family time? Yes. There definitely are times where it's a little bit more busy, but then there's times that I get to leave early because it's slow and I have something going on. Oh, we want to take Macy to the zoo today. So, I get to leave early. I would say it's very balanced. The thing that, the aspect that doesn't make it very balanced is the fact that I am adding school on top of accounting and having a family. That is what kind of makes my life hectic. But I definitely think that you can have a good work-life balance in accounting. I definitely think that it was worth it. If I could do it all over again, I would do the same exact thing. One thing that I would do differently, though, is I would maybe have a little bit more fun in college. I was super study, and if you ask my husband, like, he pretty much had to, like, drag me away from doing homework some days because I was just so, like, not into it, but, like, I was just so focused on, like, getting good grades and getting a job, and I should have had a little bit more fun. So try and have fun and try and work hard at the same time. Another question is, when it came time to decide which job offer to take, what went into your decision? That is a very good question. Like I said, I've had many offers, and there's a lot of things that went into my decisions, and I'm going to start with my internship decisions. I don't remember exactly, but I probably applied for between like 5 and 8 different internships my junior year, like the summer. And when I did that, I kind of went into it thinking, like, I'm just going to apply for all these and just hope that I get some. And I ended up getting them all, which was awesome. And when it came down to the decision, the main factors were location. So Jason and I were actually engaged, and we were getting married at the very end of the summer. So I needed the internship to be close to where I wanted to be. I was living at home at that point, and so I needed the location to work well because I didn't want to spend extra money on rent. That was a huge thing. So location was key, and I think that's probably the same for everybody. If you don't want to move to Texas, you probably shouldn't take a job in Texas. So so location was huge, and I hate to say this, but money was also a huge aspect of it. And it just happened that the job that I took was in the perfect location and was the most money. So those two things went into it. And actually that internship that I thought was the perfect internship, 2 weeks into it, I completely hated it. So I would definitely say that maybe my decisions, how I chose them, were not the best. But it just kind of worked for me in that moment. With jobs, that's a little bit harder because I've only had my current job. And I would say I really like the people. when I went in for my first interview, me and my current boss were talking for probably over an hour, and it was just natural. And it's still like that today. I can talk to her about anything. I talk to her about everything. Same thing, one of my really good friends works with me. We work in the same department. So I just, now, if I were to choose, and this is hard because you don't know what the people are like until you work with them. If I were to choose now, I would choose based off the people. I would probably choose based off of location again, because you want to be in a certain spot. And I mean, some people don't care, but for me, I wanted to be where I wanted to be. The money aspect probably matters still, just because I'm the only one working, and so I need to make sure I can support us. But honestly, I think the people make up the biggest aspect of that. So that's hard because you really can't do much about that. Okay, we have 2 more questions, so I'll hurry up so it's not super long. Okay, hi Sarah, my name is Anne. I am very interested about accounting. I have one question I want to ask you. Is accounting difficult to study? I want to become an accountant. Can you give me some advice before I take this class? Okay, so like I've said before, accounting classes can be very difficult. Intermediate accounting 1 and 2 were probably the hardest classes that I've taken in my whole college career, but I got A's. I definitely think as long as you just work hard, if you have questions, ask questions, work with friends, go in for tutoring, all of that stuff, you will be completely fine. I always tell people, I'm not a genius. I've studied hard. So if I can do it, anybody can do it. I seriously believe that. The next and last question is, which CPA study program are you going to take? Is it an in-person program or an online program? So I actually just posted a video on Monday about this. I'll try and link it if I remember to link it above. So I'm actually planning on taking the Becker Cpa review, Becker, Becker. If you just Google it, it will come up right away. It's a very, very common accounting review course. It is more expensive than most, but everybody at my school used Becker, and had almost all of my friends who I went to school with graduated and took the CPA and passed. So I think that a huge aspect of that is Becker. So I'm planning on doing that. I am going to take the in-person program, so it's going to be on Saturdays from 9 to 4. And each class is about 4 to 5 weeks. So make sure you go check out the video that I posted on Monday if you want to know more about it, because I don't want to, kind of repeat all of this, but I do plan on taking Becker, and I do plan on doing it online. So those were all the questions that I had, guys. Again, if you have any more questions, if I didn't answer your question all the way, please leave comments down below and I will try and answer them the best I can. I seriously love when you guys ask questions because it makes me feel like I'm helping you guys. And like I've said before, if I had someone to bounce this stuff off of, even like about financial aid and stuff like that, I would have loved it, because I was one of the first people in my family to go to college, and so I had no idea like what major to choose, how to choose a major, how to do financial aid, how to do all of that stuff. So if you guys have any more questions about accounting or whatever, please let me know down below. I've been trying to do these videos every week, so if you answer a question, I might not get back to you right away, but I'll make sure I do fairly soon. So thank you guys so much for watching. Again, I hope I answered these questions for you guys okay. And if you have any more, leave them down below. Bye guys.